Let's check this out. imyyds, made in China, drop shipped airbrush. Cordless and corded airbrush kit. A TM80S is probably the real model number. A little quick start guide. Looks like it's the standard threading for the airbrush, so you could probably use it with all sorts of different airbrushes. You use some estimated dilution. Thinning your paints is super important when airbrushing. That's probably where most of the complaints come in when you clog it up. Nice. Currently I'm just running some cheap airbrushes with a TimberTech or Timberline compressor. I actually wanted something that was a bit portable that I could take over to friends' houses and use or loan out to friends. This looks pretty nice. It's dual action. You got the little trigger, pretty standard setup. If you've ever used an airbrush, they're all pretty much the same. The only difference is quality. One feature that does look like it's going to be handy is the paint pot's actually removable. I think I'm going to like that a lot because it's going to make cleaning this out a whole lot easier than trying to reach in through the cup. This top part's actually threaded as well, which is nice. You always want to keep this hood on because that's what's protecting the needle. I'm not sure what size this is by default, but it's probably a 0.3 millimeter needle, which is like one of the more standard ones. Alternatively to this, if you're doing like a lot of stuff or larger things, you could use one of the paint cups. But for models and stuff, which I primarily use it for, this little cup's gonna do just fine. Here is the actual compressor. It's got a nice quick how to use. You press the power button and push the trigger down and air comes out. I'm curious if this comes pre-charged. It does not. So I'm gonna have to charge this and come back, but we'll finish taking everything out of the box. Comes with a nice little charging cable. Get that plugged in. Have a good little USB hub. Actually, if this is USB, I have a charger already ready to go right here. Unravel all this. There we go. Ooh, that said that it was at 100%, so I wonder if it's going to be okay how it is. Yeah, it's at 75. So I'll let that charge up while I finish. Comes with some cleaning accessories. A lot of the times these brushes aren't too good. Nice little pipette might be helpful, and then you'll want to hang onto this wrench. That's useful when you're taking this apart, which you might have to do if you have to do a deep clean. And then it comes with a nice little braided hose. As you can see here, I'm working in a ventilated hood. It's got a nice little filter in the back to catch the big particulate, and then you can exhaust it with a hose, take it outside. Mine goes out to the garage. Always important whenever you're working with an airbrush, keep some water handy nearby. Depending on the paints that you're using, you're going to need some airbrush thinner, and then once everything's done, you want to get some airbrush cleaner to use as well. Airbrush maintenance is not hard, but it's something that you have to stay on top of in order for these to work how they're supposed to. If you're having frequent problems with clogging, it's probably because your paints are not thinned properly. But so far so good. I'll go ahead and screw this hose in and see if we can't start using it. It did say, there's only the one pressure that you could use for this. I think it was 32 PSI. That's right about in the range that you would use for miniatures anyway. I'm just gonna rip it and see how it goes. So pressing it, I could instantly hear it kick on for a second and then it turned right back off. So that's nice. It's not going to be running the entire time. Let's go ahead and feel the airflow. Nice, that's pretty gentle. I don't know if you could see it on my hand there, but not too high. I don't know if that's quite 32 PSI, but I can actually double check it with my compressor. This is a good way to test the noise as well, if you can hear this one. And then compare that to a big compressor. It's definitely a little bit quieter, but a lot higher pitched, so it might cause a bit of fatigue having to listen to that for a long period of time. Speaking of time, it said that it'll take 90 minutes to fully charge, and that'll give you about a 60-minute run time, which is more than adequate to prime some orcs or whatever you're working on. So my actual airbrush has a regulator, so I could set that to exactly 32 PSI. Compare the air pressure. Okay, yeah, it's nowhere close to 30 PSI. Let's kick it down to about 20 and see if that's comparable. Yeah, maybe 20, maybe just under 20 PSI is what this, maybe even a little bit less than 20, but that's about the range that you would want for miniature painting anyway. So the other advantage to having an actual compressor is it's going to fill up the air tank, and then it's going to actually turn the compressor off, and you can use it for a little bit without hearing it. But you have the hose and the compressor. I wonder if we're losing a significant amount of airflow by using this hose. I'm going to try connecting it directly to this compressor. This would be a good test too. I've never used something like this, so I don't know if it's going to reduce your dexterity a little too much by holding onto this big block, but hopefully it will not. And if you get a little bit more air pressure out of doing it like this, then I'm sure it'll be worth it in the long run. There we go, something like that. It's a very slight difference, I would say. Not really enough to notice. Let's go ahead and test it out with a little bit of water. So if you've never used an airbrush before, they're usually dual action. Let me take off this back cap so you can see what I'm talking about. Your first step is going to be pressing in the trigger, and that'll activate the airflow. And then as you pull back on the nozzle, it'll pull your needle through the front, and it'll allow the whatever's in your cup to flow through. Spray a little bit of water in here. Hopefully this is not too loud on the audio. Oh yeah, and that's really good atomization. Looks pretty good for just water. Comes out nice and even. It's pretty slow, to be honest. The opening for your cup is kind of small. Don't know how well you can see that, but it looks like it's working just fine. Cool. So obviously I have just air here, and then if I pull back, the further I pull back, the more flow it will allow to come through. Getting a little drip at the bottom. It's probably just from me spraying it into my hand. So, like previously discussed, I normally use this on miniatures just to base coat and get some primer on them. These are 3D printed miniatures from a dude named Mr. Modulork. They were all modular and I just put them together. Gonna use them as proxies for Lutas. You might be thinking, what's the point of this back cap? It actually is used as a stopper, so you could set your maximum flow rate with this little knob on the back. I'm just gonna leave it wide open though. So like mentioned earlier, huge part of airbrushing is about thinning your paints. I'm gonna start by putting a few drops of airbrush thinner into there, and then we're gonna load it up with black primer. A few more drops thinner. With this being kind of lower airflow than my regular stuff, I want to really make sure that I'm giving it the best advantages. If you plug up the front of an airbrush, then the air is going to have to come up and into your cup, which can actually help mix stuff and help clean stuff. I don't know if this compressor is going to get damaged by stuff like that though, so I'm a bit nervous. Have a little, oh, you can actually set it down flat like that and not worry about it. I'm going to reach over here, have a water cup off to the side. I'm just going to use a different brush to kind of help mix it up, give it a good shot. Nice. Alright, I am currently out of gloves. which means my hands are going to get very messy doing this, but that's okay. Oh yeah. That was thinned appropriately. You can see when I'm only pulling back slightly, the flow is fairly controlled. I can pull back all the way and just get some paint on it. Already getting a little bit clogged up there. That's because I didn't really mix it up. If I notice stuff like that happening, I'll probably jump right back into thinner. Take a couple more drops, you don't need too much. Definitely guesstimating that this is only around 20 PSI though. Set it down. Taking that 45 degree angle. That's good to go. If you dry, you can throw it back. Everything you see. Flip it in. Process. That was, you know, it's not crazy, but all in all, we're still, you know, significantly under the price of a full-size compressor. This clearly takes up less room than, you know, I can't even point at it right now, but I have a big TimberTech compressor back there. And I think it's getting the job done. Really what I would be concerned about is battery life. It says that's 60 minutes, but I'm not sure if that's just 60 minutes off the charge, or if that's 60 minutes of actually spraying out paint. It's important. So this is a little airbrush technique. You never want to pull the trigger back and let go. You always want airflow to be going through first. So you want air first, and then you add the paint, and when you're ready to stop adding paint, you gotta let go first, but keep the air going. If you just spray back and pull it and let go like that, you're gonna end up with droplets in the front. It's gonna cause splatter when you start to airbrush again. Man, that's looking perfectly serviceable. I'm actually really surprised by the quality of this so far. I might have to start filling out that warranty card just in case the compressor dies on me. But depending on how good they are about their warranty, this is actually well worth your time. I'm gonna speed through the rest of these and get back with you. Nice. How long was that? Probably about 20 minutes since I started recording. And I got 10 dudes primed up. This bad boy's still reading at 75%. So, I'm going to show you guys the second most important thing about airbrushing. It's cleaning your airbrush. Over on this dirty little paper towel I have here, I have this. It's an airbrush pot. Take a couple paper towels. I'm going to take my water that I had. So first thing I'm going to do is try to thin what's in the pot by adding water. Spray it through. Again, I'm still in my hood here. You spray directly into the pot as well. There's a filter in here, so this that's coming out, it's not too bad for you. Wouldn't huff it or anything, but it's going to catch all the big particulate. Once you spray through the water, you'll put your finger over this, bubble it up just a little, and then I actually just leave it with a paper towel, dump out as much as I can. I'll go back and add some more water. And I'm going to repeat this process a couple times. Take a little paper towel, go around on the inside of the cup. If you're not using that cap, you're going to end up with a little bit of dry chunks at the top. So it's super important to do that. Removable cap's pretty nice too. Make sure that's cleaned out down there. You can see inside of there and see the needle. Put that back on. I'm gonna get my nice blue airbrush cleaner. Spray that in there as well. I'll spray this all the way through. Bubble it up. Wow, that's bubbly. Once you see that it's spraying out clear liquid again, see that was even kind of pigmented, should be good to go. Last step, if you're really being careful, pop off the end, take off this little capturing nut, don't lose that, and slide out your needle. Whenever your needle's out of the gun, you want to be really careful not to bend the tip. I'm just going to get a little bit of cleaner on here. And clean off the needle. If you ever need to do a deep clean, this nozzle part comes off. Again, just grabbing a Q-tip. A little bit of cleaner. Go around on the inside here. This whole piece comes off. You can clean it out real good. This next piece comes off as well. Then right here in the tip, yeah, well, you can see your little airbrush nozzle, and you'll switch that out depending on what size needle you're using, but that might clog up. You might have to clean it, but be very gentle with it. This is all pretty much good to go. I'm actually super surprised by the, effectiveness of this little tiny compressor. Timing's great. I mean, I could probably knock out another couple squads. Ooh, that is tight. It's making me a bit nervous, but it's okay. When you push in your needle, you want to watch the nozzle, and you want to wait for it to come through. It's probably impossible to see, but you never want to push it too deep, because that's going to open up the tip of that nozzle, and it'll damage it over time, which you don't want, obviously. Back on that capture nut so we can control the needle. Put on our cap. And that's pretty much all there is to it, cleaning wise. Move all this stuff out of the way. This is yucky. I normally have a separate spot over in this corner that I do all my cleaning in, but it is a necessary evil. So let's take a look at our results here. I'm going to turn this guy off. You can see, pretty even. Nicely done. I mean, if anything, my skills as an airbrusher were probably holding me back more than the actual device. I'm really pleased with that. I'm going to loan it out to a couple friends, see what they think about it, see if it can hold up to, being used by 4 or 5 or 6 different people over the course of the next couple of weeks, and I'll update any review that I have. Cool. So far, I would say it is definitely worth it. Can recommend.
Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Pit Viper 327 and today I like to review a little item here that I got so I can do some of my customizations and repaintings for my G.I. Joe and Star Wars projects. This happens to be a cordless airbrush kit that I picked up off of Amazon by a company called imyyds. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm reviewing it, and actually, let's take a look and see what we got. It comes in a nice little black box here. And as you see, you have a choice of colors. You get black, you can get blue, like what I got right here, as well as you can also get red. And as you can see in here, you got, this is the pump. So what you do is you actually use a USB cord to plug it in, so then that way you can actually get the air. And as you can see, if I press the button here, it actually will pump out the air, like so. And this is where the air actually goes in, so then that way it can actually make the pump go for the airbrush. And then of course this is the airbrush unit itself. It looks something similar to that by Iwata. Overall, as you can see the imyyds name right here on the side of it. So it actually has dual action, so you can press down and then push back, and then you can adjust the back end of it like so here. And of course the cover tip can come off as well. So I've actually used the brush already, and I'm actually impressed with it very much. And overall, you can even pop it in like so right here if you need be. But also, it comes with some other things too. Since it's a top loader, as you see right here, you have the bottles right there. You got 3 different sizes. This is the medium, this is the large, and then the smallest one, like so, down here. And what you got here is it actually plugs in with the USB port, like so. So then that way you can actually get a charge. I was able to use this for about over close to 2 hours on one of my projects that I was doing. And of course, you see this is the cord right here, like so, that you would just be able to plug in, which is actually a very, very fine, nicely made cord, very flexible. You can actually put this in your pocket while you're painting. And you actually have the cleaning kits here, along with this piece to clean off part of the needle in the front tip, like so. Oops, I dropped it, but don't worry, it's okay. Alrighty, so as you see, the cleaning brushes are right here, and then overall, it comes with this little booklet on imyyds. And of course, there's the model number, the TM80S, as in snake. And what you can do here is actually shows you a demonstration of how to put it all together. And that's what it would look like right here in the front cover once you put it together. This thing I actually bought off of Amazon for about $70. And actually, you know, there's people out there that are kind of like money conscious about buying kits like this, having to do with the fact that they're very expensive, especially from Japan. Iwata is a very expensive brand, but they're very good as well. But with the imyyds, it's just as good as the Iwata. And of course, you don't have to worry about buying a compressor that you can actually hook up and plug in, and then of course you're kind of tethered to it, unlike this little guy right here. So this thing can actually produce up to about 30 foot-pounds of pressure. So then that way you can actually get delivery of good spray painting. It has been used before, but what I'll have to do in the next video is actually do a demonstration of another project I plan on actually painting, and it's going to probably involve customizing the Vamp 2 missile launcher. Instead of it being the tan color, I actually plan on painting it black because I'm actually going to be using that rocket launcher for the Cobra Stinger that I actually have. The only thing right now that I need for that Stinger is usually some parts for the front bumper, the rear bumper, as well as a steering wheel and the missiles that will go with that item. So this is what I thought I'd show you guys today. And all I have to say for that is you get this off of Amazon again. I'll make sure I put a link to it if anybody's interested. And the other thing I'd like to say is, make sure you like my channel, subscribe, and if you like, leave a comment below. Anyways, hope everybody's having a great day out there, and, maybe we can all do some painting. And like to see some of your videos out there if you guys do some of that stuff. Now, take care and have a good week. This is the Pit Viper, signing off.
So I was sitting here trying to figure out why this one sounds so loud when you turn it on. And that's because when you pull the trigger, you don't have to push it down. It's automatically already on, so you just have to pull it back. So I don't know if I really like that, it being loud all the time. Like, this one is on right now, and it's not making any noise unless you pull the trigger. But this one, you have to push it down and pull it up. And these two are the same brand. The only difference is this one has a screen and this one doesn't.
This is the portable airbrush from imyyds, perhaps Mead. I don't know how to pronounce that, but this is what the device looks like. Pretty good quality. I already charged it up. Let's go ahead and click it on. It's ready to go. Already have the air compressor down the piece. And just so you can see it, works pretty good. Here you go. Some work.